Guy Dr. Disrespect, Guy Dr. Disrespect Beam, Herschel Guy Beam the fourth, better known as Dr. Disrespect, also known as the Doc, is an American online streamer. He used to have over 4 million followers on Twitch when he was active on the site and became known for playing battle royale games such as Apex Legends, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, H1Z1, PUBG, Battlegrounds. Now, Dr. Disrespect didn't just play these games, he also played a character, and he still does play a character, just not on Twitch. He does this on YouTube now. Dr. Disrespect has obviously had a very long career in the streaming space, and therefore throughout that long career in the streaming space, he's had a lot of memes cultivated from the actions that he has engaged in. Some of the actions, for those of you who don't know, were famously cheating on his wife and then apologizing for cheating on his wife. That was like a big deal. That happened before I was even on Twitch, I think. So that was, but it was like a big deal. I mean, people still, whenever someone cheats, people still reference the famous Dr. Disrespect 4-cent CD emote that is going around in the chat right now. There was also a very famous apology. This was from 2017. Here it is. This is out of character. Normally he's in character, but this is out of character. So it's a big deal, right? It is pretty funny that he's playing his intro song while also being serious, though. I like that.
Hey, guys. Kind of having a little bit of...
His music is fire.
And I just want to be completely transparent with you guys.
People make jokes about transparency, too.
A beautiful family and a wife and kid. I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful. And I'm probably going to be taking some time away to focus on stupid mistakes, man.
That's a classic bar. Stupid mistakes is like a line as well. Like, these things are basically old news. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of background, right? This was such a big deal in this space back then that like a lot of the things that he has said in this like apology to his fan base, I guess, became perma memes. Like, they became lore. This is ancient lore I'm showing you. We haven't even gotten to the Shungite yet, okay? That's after my times. I was there for that, but this is before my time, and like I had to learn about this lore when I first came on this platform, right? Yeah, this is a genre defining, platform defining meme, right? This is lore.
I'm gonna take time off to focus on my family, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I apologize to you guys and Slick Daddy. You guys are guys, and Slick Daddy, you guys are...
I want to apologize to the fans and Slick Daddy. I didn't know that. What is Slick Daddy? The Slick Daddy Club? Is that his fan base? He had his group called the Slick Daddy Club. Oh my God. Okay, that's... Okay, I'm sorry. I know this is supposed to be a serious moment, but that's hilarious, bro. What's up, guys? I'm so sorry. I want to apologize. I did not know that that family was walking across the street as I ran them over. I know I drank a little too much, right? And, you know, once and for all, I do want to apologize to the Oogie Boogie Club. I want to just say right now, I want to apologize to the federal government. I want to apologize to the family, but most importantly, the Oogie Boogie Club. Let me tell you right now, I let you down and I let myself down. I want to apologize to my moderator team. I hope the Oogie Boogie Club could potentially forgive me down the line. Like, obviously, as time passed, like this became a perma meme. He started memeing on it as well. The two-time champion, right? And it was something that he leaned into. And he recovered from this, right? He recovered from this to become, again, one of the largest content creators on the platform at the time at Twitch. He was pretty much like one of the faces of Twitch. And yet Twitch never really leaned into him in the same way that they leaned into like Ninja, for example, in terms of like marketing material, right? Partially because he had like this wrestling persona that he had put on. And by the way, regardless of like his improper behavior or the allegations or the fact that he's like not my biggest fan or whatever, I have always recognized, just like I do with Alex Jones, for example, I've always said that he is like a great entertainer. We look at HasanAbi now and, you know, we are in awe of the way that HasanAbi is capable of entertaining people and all of this work that he puts into it. But like Dr. Disrespect was kind of doing that for a very long time. Like, he had a green screen. He had this persona. He would always put this suit on. He definitely has always been like a very good entertainer regardless. Like, I will completely separate the man from the craft when I look at stuff like this in the same way that I do with Alex Jones, right? These guys have natural energy. They are charismatic, have the capacity to entertain large crowds. And he was able to recover from this, right? He was able to become one of the largest content creators on the platform once again. Having said that, some other stuff started happening. If I recall correctly, I don't want to this timeline, and I don't know if there's like a good article that we could just like look at for the timeline. Maybe we go to the Wikipedia page. In June 2020, Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch and his channel was removed from the site for publicly unannounced reasons. Now, this was a big deal because he was the before we get to that, there was the bathroom incident. Sorry, I jumped over. So his house got shot at. That was crazy. That was another thing that happened. And then, let's start from the top. March 16, 2011, Dr. Spect appointed as the community manager of Sledgehammer Games. He used to, I believe, make COD maps as well. Like he was a developer. He joined Justin TV, which later became Twitch, while he was working at Sledgehammer, quit Sledgehammer in 2015 to focus on a full-time streaming career. Dr. Disrespect gained a following for playing Battle Royale games. His popularity has led to sponsorship deals with Gillette, Asus, Rockcat, and Game Fuel. His stream on February 5th, 2018 reached a total of 388,000 concurrent viewers, just shy of beating Tyler 1's record of 410,000. His popularity led to a bunch of sponsorship deals. On January 10th, 2019, Creative Artist Agency, which is the largest agency on the planet, like it's one of the biggest agencies in the top big four in Hollywood, the biggest one, they signed him as a client. He signed a multi-year deal with Twitch in March 2020. On August 17th, 2020, he announced that he was writing a personal memoir called Violence, Speed, Momentum. The book was released on March 30th, 2021. However, on June 11th, 2019, after the wife cheating stuff, this is like years after the wife cheating stuff, Dr. Disrespect's Twitch channel was suspended as he was live streaming while attending a 2019 edition of the Electronic Entertainment Expo in Los Angeles, one of the last E3s to exist, by the way, if not the last one. Dr. Disrespect and his cameraman went into a public restroom where Dr. Disrespect re-entered the bathroom on 2 occasions while filming still going on at the venue in violation of Twitch's privacy rules. In addition, E3 organizer, Entertainment Software Edition Association revoked Dr. Disrespect's E3 pass, banning him from the event. Twitch, of course, reinstated Dr. Disrespect's channel on June 25th. So he caught a couple days on that one. That was Dr. Piss Inspect. So the 2-time champion, the 2-timer himself turned into Dr. Piss Inspect, but it was just like a light meme, It wasn't that big of a deal. He just filmed in the bathroom. There might have been minors there, but he didn't know, as far as we know, right? That was marginal. And then the permanent ban came. On June 26, 2020, the Dr. Disrespect Twitch account was banned from Twitch. Twitch's official statement on the ban said, "As is our process, we take the appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers regardless of the status or prominence in the community." And he had prominence in the community. But leading up to that, there was a lot of momentum. Dr. Disrespect became a little bit of a kook, more so than his persona, more so than his character. He started revealing certain things about his genuine beliefs. Now, this is another massive meme in Twitch lore. I'm explaining to you guys a huge part of Twitch lore here. Dr. Disrespect became a crystal girly.
I bought a whole bunch of Shungite rocks. Do you know what Shungite is? Anybody know what Shungite is? No, not Shungite. I think he's locked up in prison. Talking Shungite. Anyways, it's a 2 billion year old
rock.
Like rock.
Stone
that
protects against frequencies.
And unwanted frequencies that may be traveling in the air.
So that's my story.
That's my story. I bought a whole bunch of stuff. Put them around the La Casa.
Now, that was massive. That immediately everyone was like, oh my God, he is losing it. Like, he is insane. It was so massive that I, of course, bought Shungite as well. Everybody bought Shungite. Everybody was talking about Shungite. Shungite stocks, they went through the roof. Now, why did he get Shungite? Well, the reason why he got it was because, as he said, he wanted to combat against 5G coronavirus. For those of you who do not know, there was a thing called COVID. It was a big deal. A a lot of people died, 1 million plus in the United States of America. And in the early stages of COVID, everyone was going a little crazy. Before they went stir crazy, before they got cabin fever, they were just straight up going crazy about like this unknown disease. What's happening? Why is this happening? Why are people dying? Should we be afraid of it? Is the government lying to us? These were questions that many people had 4 years ago. People were questioning the truth about COVID. Some found answers. The likes of David Icke. Dr. Disrespect also propped up at the time. Some found answers in 5G wireless waves and frequencies causing this instability and this damage to the broader American population. I was not one of those people. This is before ivermectin. This is before hydroxychloroquine. This is Dr. Disrespect. That kind of stuff, the Shungite memes and the David Icke defense that Dr. Disrespect engaged in, I wonder if I can find it here. There were articles written about it, by the way. Dr. Disrespect's Twitch ban, what we know and what we don't know. Because there was so much happening. At that time, and because he was doing so much, he was doing the most. People were wondering, like, is it because he was, hyping David Icke? Is it because he was like, defending these like anti-Semitic conspiracy theories? But here are basically Dr. Disrespect's final moments. All of this happened in like the same sequence, basically. Well, he was like doing the Shungite stuff, repping David Icke, and then he mysteriously had his final moment on Twitch. Now, this is an 8-minute video, and I need you to watch this closely because it's a very weird video. This also plays into the whole like, how the did this guy get banned? Why the did this guy get banned? For those of you who don't know, David Icke is like an OG conspiracy theorist. He is a massive anti-Semite, English conspiracy theorist, former footballer and sports broadcaster. He's written over 20 books, self-published since the mid-1990s, and spoken more than 25 countries. In 1990, Icke visited a psychic who told him he was on Earth for a purpose and he would receive messages from the spirit world. This led him to claim in 1991 to be a son of the Godhead and that the world would soon be devastated by tidal waves and earthquakes. He repeated this on the BBC show Wogan. This appearance led to public ridicule. Books Icke wrote over the next 11 years developed his worldview of and you might know this, our new world order, a new age conspiracy. Reactions to his endorsement of an anti-Semitic fabrication, the Protocols of Elders of Zion, which is like one of the OG texts for anti-Semitism in the modern world. The Robots Rebellion in 1994 and in The Truth Shall Set You Free in 1995 led his then publisher to decline further books, so he has self-published since then. Here's one of my tweets at the time. I'm sorry, but this is the funniest possible quote Dr. Disrespect could have given on what is clearly a very serious matter. Otherwise, my man literally was pushing David Icke right before he got permed. I've seen all the theories. I've seen all the possible conspiracies. I'm just not interested in engaging in that type of stuff. While there was a lot of like conspiracy theories floating around at the time, there was also a Twitch Me Too moment happening as well, because obviously gamers deserve less. So that led to many people speculating that this might be potentially Me Too related sexual misconduct. Definitely one of the things suspected Dr. Disrespect doing. But before we get to that aspect, before we get to his final moments here, let's run this. This is me with Shungite. This is me infiltrating a Save the Kids rally. It was like a QAnon rally that I went to where I was memeing along with this lady. You have a very cool necklace. I love that. What is that?
Thank you. This is
that Shungite?
I love Shungite, but this is iron pyrite.
Oh, what does that do? Does that block out the 5G waves? I got Shungite all over my La Casa, my home, you know?
Me too. I have it on my phone. It does block out 5G waves.
You have it on your phone? Can I see?
Yeah.
I have it all around the La Casa, you know.
Tiny pyramids.
People always mistake it. Whenever I talk about Shungite, they're always like, Shungite, and I'm like, no, that guy's locked up in prison. You know?
These are my Shungite.
Wow, and it says self-love on it, too.
It does, yeah.
That's pretty cool. How are you going to tell me I don't love hogs, baby? How? Now, without further ado, let's watch Dr. Disrespect's final moments on the platform.
Data miners found a giant rocket under the map in between Park and downtown. Yo, Doc, put Dolby Atmos on you so you can fix your audio. You watch your goddamn mouth.
He had audio perverts too, dude.
I think you missed my last donation, but fear not, here's another. I'm making one for you soon. I'll hit you up on a pager later. See you soon, Doc. And it's a link to a picture, Danger Cop with a $5 donation. I'm looking at it. That's not even me. Champions Club Doctor fan, thank you for the $3. Unless you're like trying to like start a new channel called Danger Cop, and then like you're like gonna try to enter my world, the digital realm. It's just not gonna happen. First off, I love the passion though. I'm not saying you don't try. I'm just not gonna go, oh yeah, come right on in. Sure, I'll hand you millions and hundreds of millions of dollars as we take a journey into Hollywood. It's not that simple, okay?
I do need to mention something to all of you that are watching currently. Dr. Disrespect is 42 years old. At that time in 2020, he was 38 years old. He is 42 years old now. So you understand. He pulls out his phone. He looks at his phone, takes a weird like pause, big gulp.
Watch me take over. I love it, man. See the self-confidence in the chat? That's what I'm talking about. The self-confidence of the Champions Club, it's at an all-time high, and don't ever stop.
From this point on, it gets weird because like he sounds like he's Trump. Knowing that these are his final moments is just like so crazy.
Please don't ever stop.
Sounds like he's crying.
You got to be strong in this world, man. I was watching that documentary on what's this guy? Ike, I-C-K-E, older gentleman.
Older gentleman. Bro went out with a bang, dude. Bro went out defending David Icke. You gotta respect it to a certain degree, you know? He's just a man that had his convictions. He was gonna go out with a bang, you know? Esteemed older gentleman, David
I forgot
Icke.
his first name. David Icke. Yes, Alex. Yes. Even if like it's like it just kind of, you know, rather than this, it's on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. Or is it Amazon? It's one of the two. It's either Amazon or Netflix. Little documentary on him. Pretty enlightening. All it allows you to do is just sort of like, you know, allows you to step outside of the box just a little bit. Whether some of the stuff is not true or not, whatever. I think the whole goal though is to wake up. I actually bought the Mrs. Assassin bought the book, actually, not me. I shouldn't take the credit. Things like this thick. I'm gonna read it though. Yeah, we'll get through this, Champions Club. I know it's a tough. Life's weird right now. We'll get through this, okay? And
hey, Christopher. You get to try.
That was the last 8 minutes and 47 seconds of Dr. Disrespect on the website known as Twitch. He was unceremoniously banned, and it became a massive story. Okay, it became a massive story. Everybody was like, "The f is happening? Like, what? How did this happen?" Everyone wanted to understand because, like, imagine if right now, if like HasanAbi got banned, and his last stream is just like where he's being weird, and he spends his last stream knowing that it's probably his last stream, maybe even his entire career. His life is flashing before his eyes. He ends up by promoting a like weird Nazi New World Order conspiracy theorist, and also watching a Roblox stream. That was Dr. Disrespect's last stream, so everyone wanted to know. At the time, we had an esteemed journalist who's in the chat with us right now, a gaming journalist, a video gaming journalist, Slasher. This was, I had him on the stream to talk about what was going on. Yo. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know, first of all, the gloves are off, okay? I'm gonna grill the out of you. One, because you're still, you're still edging everybody like your goddamn Sting, doing a tantric sex session about not revealing Dr. Disrespect information. And two, because you're an hour late, an hour and 11 minutes to be exact.
That part is true.
Let's get started.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm out of control.
Fucking riled up right now. This is
how's chat? How you doing, chat? You doing, Hasan? You having a good time with chat?
You're not gonna win any favors from chat either, because there are a lot of angry customers in here who have been waiting on Dr. Disrespect news, just a crumb. Literally anything we can get. Anything we can get on this matter. This is where I believe before this appearance on the stream, Slasher famously tweeted out the words that also became like meme lore canon, whatever you want to call it, where he tweeted, "Several hours now, I have been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect has been banned. Due to the importance of sensitivity around the subject, I have refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently." And then also, Dr. Disrespect is done, and not just on Twitch. That's the classic one. Oh, that was Shannon Z Killer. Okay. From my own sources, Doc is indeed banned and not just on Twitch. I know why, and I cannot say. Damn, I retconned it. I thought it was actually Rod who said that. Food for thought. Twitch does not issue specific reasons for streamers for permanent bans. Method Josh was banned following a report of sexual assault, and Twitch has never commented publicly or privately. Josh and I beside him were told other TOS violations. There's additional complications if it is actually an issue surrounding a predation of a minor. If there's like predatory behavior surrounding a minor, it's not just NDAs. There's also additional complications in order to protect the victims. So that literally creates a second set of complications in terms of covering the story, in terms of coming out with the story. Good blog. I reported on sexual assault before, and it's always delicate because of the seriousness of the allegations and the importance of protecting your sources. You have to be extremely precise. Unfortunately, even if your story is extremely well sourced, will people question the victim? Often to the point of harassment or smearing. You have absolutely seen this before. Ultimately, sometimes the victim just does not want to come forward. Who could blame them? Their safety is more important than any story. A lot of people have asked why and how so many people knew the Dr. Disrespect rumors all this time. I took a crack at those questions. It's something to consider. We didn't know what was going on at the time. Nobody really knew. There were allegations. It happened like this ban came in sequence at a time. Here it is. New York Times even wrote about it. Dozens of women in gaming speak about sexism and harassment after more than 70 allegations surfaced on Twitter this weekend. Gaming companies and streamers responded with action. Some say it's the beginning of real change in the industry. Friend of the show, Taylor Lorenz, wrote this article back in June 23rd, 2020. Okay, remember, it's right when Doc was getting banned. Basically, it came during the 2 weeks where 36 streamers were banned for sexual harassment and assault during Twitch's Me Too moment. And not only that, if you recall, at the time, unpartnered him and deleted his server the same day he got his Twitch ban. The fact that Discord also in unison, this is an often forgotten part. Thank you, Rod, for reminding me of this. An often forgotten part about this conversation wasn't just that Twitch banned him permanently, unceremoniously, but Discord took his server down, which is why a lot of people thought, oh my God, something massive is going on. This is Rod reporting on the matter at the time. All of Dr. Disrespect's Twitch subs have been refunded. His Discord partnership has been removed. Dr. Disrespect's wife, Mrs. Assassin, has posted the following message to her Instagram. The outpouring of love, support, strength, and kindness from the arena has truly been overwhelming. You all have made my heart full, and I cannot thank you enough. No one better out there than the CC. You guys are amazing. Much love to you all. Twitch never reveals exactly why you got banned. That's like a part of their modus operandi. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And to this day, Discord has not revealed why they removed his server to this day. So that's also something to remember, something to consider. Discord also took action. Discord, a video game focused chat platform, said they had also removed Beam from their partner program on June 26th, shortly after the Twitch news broke. Discord's program did not require Beam's active participation. It simply verified his presence on the platform and bestowed certain otherwise paid features to his account. Beam and his representative told the Post that they were unaware of the partnership. Through a spokesperson, Discord told the Post that partners are held to a higher standard than typical users and issued a statement similar to that of Twitch. Discord partners must abide by our code of conduct, and when violations occur, we take the appropriate action. The company declined to comment on the rationale for ending the partnership. That's another thing that happened, which was very confusing at the time. Very, very confusing at the time, but due to the threat of litigation, due to the complications surrounding the nature of the misconduct potentially, it seemed like nobody was, willing to go out there and withstand the potential fire hose of litigation if they were to speak out. We don't know what happened, but Twitch obviously had a fat contract with them that CAA had fought for. I suspect that CAA lawyers also played a role in clawing back every dollar that Dr. Disrespect was supposed to get. And now that I've given you like the environment at the time and the way in which he was banned, at this point, we can now come flash forward to 2024. In 2024, 4 years, almost 4 exact years after his unceremonious ban, a former Twitch person by the name of Cody Connors yesterday at 5:24 p.m. Pacific and tweeted these words out, where he said he got banned because got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. No one made the wrong decision. him and his boys. Now, this is an interesting statement because Twitch has banned a lot of people 4 years after the fact. Is he talking about Dr. Disrespect? Is he not? Everyone immediately was like, oh, he's talking about Dr. Disrespect. He's, of course, talking about Dr. Disrespect. What the else could he be talking about? But it is rather odd, at least in my assessment, that he did not actually mention him by name, possibly to shelter him from litigation. It was a subtweet, but a subtweet blew up nonetheless, and everyone obviously thought correctly that he was talking about Dr. Disrespect for probably plausible deniability, but no one had done this before. And that's interesting. Very interesting. And since then, all hell has broken loose. Obviously, in the immediate aftermath of this revelation, there were a bunch of prominent video game reporters and journalists from many different walks of life and many different outlets that came out and basically confirmed this suspicion that it was Dr. Disrespect, that they had also heard, and ex-Twitch employees and many other journalists that had like talked to ex-Twitch employees who were Twitch employees at the time, including Zachary Diaz, who now works with OTK. He was one of the people that said, so glad it's finally out there. Nathan Grayson had some choice words. And Nathan Grayson is, of course, formerly at Washington Post, formerly at Kotaku, where he said, without revealing anything else in order to protect sources, I can say that this is not the first time I have heard basically this explanation. Oh, Zach is no longer working with OTK. Okay, well, he used to work at OTK. Without revealing anything else in order to protect sources, I can say that this is not the first time I've heard basically this explanation, nor is it the second or third. A caveat. All of the sources I spoke to were secondhand. They were not in the room when it happened, nor could they provide documentation. In other words, this is not confirmation. Until somebody who actually pulled the trigger either comes forward or talks to a reporter, we will not necessarily have the full or true story. You know, the journalists who are talking about this are still relatively careful in the way that they're covering it. But if you were confused as to whether this was Dr. Disrespect or not, he responded. Jake Sucky also tweeted about this. A former Twitch employee has come forward and stated that the alleged reason for Dr. Disrespect's permanent Twitch ban being for sexting a minor in the previous Twitch Whispers product. Dr. Disrespect then responded to Jake Sucky and said, Jake, seriously, ... I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract, which is an insane thing to respond to. The response and the words that he is choosing here in a normal circumstance would not be those words. In a normal circumstance, you would not hit the Drake line. If I was young girls, I promise I have been arrested. I'm way too famous for this. You suggested Drake ain't no name you're gonna see on no sex offender list. Like, that's a crazy ass bar to reply to Jake Sucky with. It is true that Twitch and Dr. Disrespect's team went into litigation, and as far as we understand, they settled. And yeah, by the way, Cody's not just a former employee, he was an account director of strategic partnerships. So he was pretty high up from 2018 to June 2023. And before that, he was the partnerships manager for esports development. In a situation like this, you know, if there's no like misconduct, alleged misconduct that actually took place, you don't just say, oh, we settled. The topic has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged. You say, the are you talking about? Of course I didn't text minors on the Twitch Whispers app. That is an insane allegation to make. What do you mean? If someone turns around and calls you a pedophile, you go, the do you mean a pedophile? Get the out of here. You don't just say the topic has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged and they paid out the whole contract, because the conversation isn't about the contract or the settlement. The conversation is about the alleged misconduct. Dr. Disrespect also came out earlier this morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time and tweeted this. I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoings was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday. The remainder of his contract by Twitch is ultimately meaningless. Why is it ultimately meaningless? Even if there was legitimate wrongdoing and Twitch passed it off to like the agencies or authorities or whatever, you could still, with an expert legal team, claw back those dollars that you signed on contract. If you have good enough lawyers, you can still get paid out. And it's a win-win, I guess, technically, for both parties to not talk about the matter any further. from a purely corporate standpoint, I suspect that Twitch doesn't have a conversation about how, like, especially while they had gone on a banning spree of so many content creators on their platform, dozens of content creators getting banned for sexual misconduct. Obviously, it's probably better to just like brush that aside, give it off to the proper authorities, especially considering the allegations involving a minor potentially. If that is true, then in that circumstance, like, you have to report it to the proper authorities, and then you can't really say too much about it because, like I mentioned, it becomes incredibly complicated to cover this issue. Even as a journalist, it becomes incredibly complicated to cover this issue. You have to protect the victims. Journalists have only ever known a rumor. They want to know the truth. It's a huge scoop and it's a public service. But the reason this came out via vague post is that no journalist has really been able to confirm it, not for a lack of trying. The truth is that in as much as it may seem that the story has advanced, we're really still on square one. There's a reason what we think we know came in the form of a vague post. Every journalist wants to be the first one to nail this story, if it is true, but not a single one has gathered the requisite sourcing to make it happen. You also could potentially have sources that don't want to come out in public either, like sources that might not want to come out, potential litigation due to the fact that they might lose their jobs. What does that mean? For a story like this to feel airtight, a journalist would want to talk to multiple sources with direct insight into what happened when Beam was banned. It's likely, however, that the group that made Twitch's decision regarding Beam was small and tight-knit. People in those positions often don't see any upside in speaking with the press, and indeed, fear the risks, professional blowback, legal issues, etc. that might come with revealing internal secrets. Twitch moderation in all of my years, I've had incredibly limited interaction, okay? Incredibly limited, like not any interaction whatsoever. Twitch moderation is very famously kept basically as a separate entity almost, internally speaking. They do take it very seriously. Twitch does take its moderation pretty seriously. That's why a lot of people will talk about like, oh, they're banning this, they're banning that. Sometimes it's inconsistent, but you have to understand it is one of the platforms, and I stand on this, and it's part of the reason why I, have defended Twitch in the past as well, and have been very critical, and have been on the receiving end of the ban hammer more times than your favorite content creators. You have to remember that. I've been banned more times than most of these content creators out there. Having said that, I still always defend Twitch moderation and how seriously they take that. In 2020, however, Breslau's tweet became a minor meme in the universe of people who might care about Dr. Disrespect, and among those who sought an opportunity to get a jab in at Breslau, who can be prickly and acerbic online. That's so funny, Rod. You can be prickly and acerbic online. Not all my conversations with Breslau has been on good terms. Breslau, who had previously been a prolific leaker, had come across a story he couldn't seem to crack. The public wouldn't let him forget it. Breslau briefly withdrew from social media in 2022. He told me that the credible sources post still weighed on him. I cannot continue my professional career until I release a story about Doc, Breslau wrote in a message to me. He described himself as experiencing something like executive dysfunction. I'm pretty bad at making decisions to begin with, and now I've just kind of stopped everything because of this. But when the world needed him the most, he vanished. This might have played a role in his vanishing, according to his own words. Now, Rod did have a take. At 6:13, he tweeted out, "I didn't lie," alongside many of the other journalists who were also confirming that they had also talked to sources, some of which did not want to come forward and were fearful of litigation. TJ Wheat, who was also very high up at Twitch, literally one of the founders of the platform, said, "Respect." Having said that, you got to weigh the two options here. Is Dr. Disrespect the most persecuted content creator on the planet? Because ultimately, all of this is built around a complete falsehood. Then this is unimaginable cruelty. These aren't light allegations. These are pretty heavy ones. Okay. Is he the most unjustly persecuted content creator on the planet? Did he actually do some shit? To the extent of what kind of he engaged in, we do not know. There is not enough evidence at the time beyond a vague post. This is what we know so far, but the story doesn't end there. Now, Dr. Disrespect came out and said this, which is, in my opinion, legalese for the most part. It seems a lot like a person doing like a PR style tweet. Now, of course, it doesn't end there. Dr. Disrespect has a lot of friends. Some of those friends also happen to no longer be big fans of mine personally, but even Keemstar, by the way, responded to this, which I thought was pretty funny. Bro, why won't you say, I was not talking to a minor trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon like what was alleged. He literally just said that. He literally did not say that. When you lost mother Keemstar, it's just like when Keemstar is the one that's looking reasonable, it's Jover. You lost Killer Keemstar, but at least he did not lose Nick Merckx. Here's FaZe Nick Merckx.
Yo, checking in. Look, I opened Twitter and I seen the couple tweets about the doc. I'm as taken back as a lot of you guys are, okay? But the fact remains that these are some crazy accusations. Crazy. Big time accusations. And until we know more, until we know them as fact, until they've been proven with evidence, what are we talking about? What's anybody talking about? As far as the leave the little kids alone stuff, this doesn't make it any further from the truth. Leave little children out of your... Have a nice day.
Oh my God. I like that it's always just like right-wing commentary at that point. I don't know how this happens so frequently, but you know, maybe at the end he's saying like, stay away from the little ones to his friend. I don't know. But I pray for everybody. I pray for everybody involved. Okay, so he said that. Obviously, everybody's going crazy with the memes. There is one thing I wanted to mention, though, because, like, if you recall, Nick Merckx is a significant figure in this. He was doing the leave the kids alone, leave them little kids alone, and, like, coming out as, like, a out and about right-winger, right? He was doing that last Pride, actually, 1 year ago. Exactly 1 year ago. And when he was doing that, Nick Merckx was, Dr. Disrespect defended him, and I made a very classic joke that everyone has made a million times over. I said, Dr. Disrespect is more faithful to his friend Nick than his own wife, which pissed off a lot of people, including Nick, who famously unfollowed me and said, bro, I can't believe you said that on his anniversary, which I thought was crazy because, like, how the am I supposed to know it was Dr. Disrespect's anniversary? Here was Dr. Disrespect's response.
I got no. My favorite content creator is Hasan. Even though he's fat and he's got weird looking structure of shoulders and he's unathletic, but he's really fat. He's my favorite content creator. I got nothing going on. I'm so depressed. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm critical of everything except myself.
Once again, I was right, but too early. I mean, yeah. I see why he's popular. Impression was spot on. Well, he's impersonating you. He's impersonating you, a HasanAbi head. Doc was more worried about pronouns in the bio than age in the bio, I guess. Oh, that's a good one. That's actually a banger. Okay, respect. Yeah, technically, he's back to streaming in the toilet in this setup. Yeah, that's the situation on hand. We still don't know. And I think this article does a pretty good job covering the circumstances and covering like the difficulties. It is definitely shocking to me. I mean, I guess it's like at this point, it's no longer surprising to me when another one of my haters, like a prominent content creator who just like is weirdly radicalized against my commentary, turns around and like is outed for doing some weird ass. It has happened almost every single time. So I don't know. Like I genuinely don't understand it. Virtually all my mother ops, they just have like real weird come out like this. Is wild how many of the ops are pedos. I wouldn't say that about. They just have weird cases. This meme in and of itself, like some of them have weird cases. Some of them are, you know, saying weird. I wouldn't say that they're like certified pedophiles, but my ops do have some weird freaky going on. By the way, if you are wondering, well, where's the kick deal for Doc? All of this suits the kick deal dynamic. Well, it turns out they did offer him.
Like I said, I mean, they had a gracious number, 10 mil per year, 0 gambling, right? But it's just not enough.
After this, Kick is probably looking at that going, we got him. We were waiting for the opportune moment, and now we got it. You are right in the wheelhouse, baby. Kick is like, hey, remember that deal you rejected? We'll double it now. Now that you have all of the right like allegations and this is good. This is our opportunity. And that's it. That's all there is to this story so far. I think this article from Mikhail Klementov is pretty good, especially like the part where it says we're still on square one. You know what I mean? Oh, what is this?
I don't care. I don't want, no. Keep your kids around for a little bit today. Right? Let's teach them a lesson. Get them in the room. Sit them down. Let's teach them a lesson today.
What? Hey, yo, bro. What the hell? That's from yesterday, I think. Out of context, he was talking about Elden Lord. Yeah, I know, but still, it's kind of weird.